Excellent! Hey everyone, it's Jamie. Welcome to my first Q&A video. So I asked the guys over at my Discord server to leave me some questions. Got quite a few, so I've collated the best ones and I'm going to answer them in this video. Also got some of the questions I've been asked a lot in the past on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to go through those as well. Also, if you want to see me do this more often, come on over and join the Jamie Slays Discord server, because we have lots of fun, it's free, and you can submit questions so I can do more questions on the questions of the questions. So I'm just going to go through my Discord server now and choose a question at random. Ooh, Ronnie_GT1000 says, it's a card by the way, what is your favourite guitar? Well Ronnie, it depends on what you define by favourite. I'm going to be a bit facetious here. You could mean favourite guitar that I own, or favourite guitar that I would like to own. So I'm going to answer both those questions. My favourite guitar that I own, I think, is potentially my pink swirl Ibanez that I had built, or the solo guitar that Ola England let me keep, because that's so generous of him. Thank you very much. But favourite guitar that I potentially would love to own if I could have any guitar would probably be a Gem 777 Ibanez, which is one of the Steve Vai kind of signature guitars, either in green or pink, and I'm hoping to own one soon. So hopefully that answers your question as to what my favourite guitar is. And I'll tell you why those ones are my favourite guitars. The pink one was a body that I bought on eBay, and I got Richard Fay to swirl for me, so it was the second one I got from him. That's my favourite because it was kind of custom built by me, and also the neck is made by a luthier I know, Hayden Lasilla of Lasilla Guitars, and he made it kind of to spec, similar to a Gem neck, so it's like a 5-piece with maple and walnut, and it's got a custom inlay on it too, so that's pretty cool. So it's my first kind of custom guitar that I ever had, and I chose all the pickups myself, and I kind of helped build it badly, so that's probably why that one's my favourite, and it sounds really nice, it plays really well. And the reason why I like the solo guitar is because it was the first one in ages since my Iron Label Ibanez that I kind of just fell in love with. I was like, oh, this is one of the best guitars I've ever played. It's an Indonesian made guitar, but I would say with the standard of a Japanese made prestige guitar. Really enjoy it, and I love the fact that Ola let me keep it, so thank you very much. It's also got a reverse headstock, it's got an overtune, it's the first time I've ever used one of those, and I love that. And now recording with it makes it really stable, makes the tuning stay really good, because I do a lot of bends and the tuning stays very, very, very good and very stable. So I like it very, very much. Thank you again, Ola. Next question. Scroll through the submissions again. Do I like coffee or tea? Don't like either. Don't like milk. Don't really like hot drinks. I drink green tea with lemon in it because I'm fancy. Next question. Metallica or Megadeth? Metallica! Metallica! Obviously Metallica. I like Megadeth, but I've been listening to Metallica for a lot longer. I own like 58 Metallica t-shirts, and I can play a lot of their riffs, and I pretty much owe my right hand picking ability to James Hetfield. So if any of you out there want to learn how to do down picking super good, play Master of Puppets, play it slow, work your way up, down pick everything, and then you'll be as good as him, maybe one day. What is my favourite band? Oh, that's another good question. So Ronnie GT1000 again has submitted another question, which is, what is your favourite band? Maybe Metallica, I don't know. Metallica is the band that comes up on my shuffle the most often, but that's because I've got the most of their songs on my Apple Music. But my favourite band, I would say maybe Pantera, because Pantera are probably one of the bands that I could listen to over and over and not kind of get fed up with it. Dimebag is one of my favourite guitarists, so it's definitely good to listen to Pantera every once in a while. It can get a bit boring if you listen to the same music all the time, so I do shuffle through my music quite a lot, but I'd say favourite band of all time would be Pantera, and I'm sad that I never got to see them live, so it sucks. To add on to Ronnie's question, I'm also going to say what my favourite bands of 2019 were. I don't have a favourite altogether, but I've got favourite albums that were released. North Lane's album was amazing, Issues' latest album. I heard about a new band called Dealer, and they're amazing. They're from Australia, and their EP is ridiculously good. Alpha Wolf also. They both have members from the same bands, and Alpha Wolf's new EP is really, really good. Brand of Sacrifice, the new Infant Annihilator album. Spite's new album is amazing as well. There's a new track released by Amur, Pig's Ear, which is really good, and Acacia Strain released a new album too, which is pretty awesome. So those are my favourite bands of last year. I think Issues being the most listened to on my Apple Music playlist. Next question. Technical Pick says, what is your go-to tuning when every other tuning is failing you? It has to be a drop tuning. I think I play a lot of my kind of go-to riffs on a drop tuning. For those of you who don't know, drop tuning is when you lower the E string down so that you can play power chords with one finger rather than having to play like this. Makes it a bit easy. Some people say it's cheating. A lot of standard metal elitists from death metal era will say that, or even thrash metal will say that down tuning is cheating because you're playing them with one finger, so you can do a lot of this easily. But maybe drop B or drop C are my favourites. They're the ones that I write most of my songs in. Or if I'm playing on a 7 string, it's drop A, which is basically the same as drop D, but on a 7 string you lower the 7th string all the way down. So I think, yeah, drop B or drop C. Drop B is only half a step below drop C, so it makes anything you play in drop B sound really heavy because it's only half a little step down. But that's my favourite one to go to writing riffs on. What's your favourite tuning? Let me know in the comment section below. Next question. We've got... Scooter Print has said, big up your boy Scooter Print, he's my mod on Discord. Thank you very much, mate. What singular piece of guitar gear changed the way you play / produce music for the better, and why? I would probably say my computer / interface. I don't really play with an amp or pedals that much. I own them, but I don't really use them very often. I play, as you can see, through a computer, through Logic, and I use a lot of plugins like the Nolly Neural DSP is my favourite one at the moment. I use TSC X50. Things like Bias Effects and Amplitude are really good plugins that I use. So without an interface, none of that would be possible. Obviously you need cables and power supplies and all that kind of stuff still, but interfaces helped me back in the day learn how to record guitar, and I think recording guitar makes you a better guitarist because you've got to learn to play with a metronome, you've got to learn to like punch in at the right bit, and if you do both left and right guitars, you've got to learn both the sides. So I think, yeah, I'd say the best piece of gear that changed the way I play or produce music would be my interface, to keep it simple. Next question. Thanks again, Scooter Print, that was a good one. Best beginner metalcore or deathcore riffs by Haunting Q. Beginner ones, I would say Killswitch Engage. I know some of their songs are pretty difficult, but they've got some really good beginner ones that are quite good to get down. Early Avenged Sevenfold. Deathcore would be things like Chelsea Grin, Suicide Silence, Carnifex, like Suicide Silence, Unanswered, Carnifex Light to My Face, Chelsea Grin, Sonic the Wretched was the one that I learned the first by them, that's a very good one. Unholy Confessions by Avenged Sevenfold, and maybe Rose of Sharon by Killswitch Engage. Again, they're not like super beginner because they're maybe intermediate, but they're my favourite ones that I'd go to first if I was learning those for the first time ever. Another question, which is one of my favourite ones that I did read over recently, from Carrigan with a capital A, is where should a beginner guitarist start? Some steps or advice? Oh, that's a very good question. That question kind of prompted the idea of doing this Q&A because a lot of people ask, like, where do you start as a beginner? What is the best thing to do first and all that kind of thing? So I suppose I'll answer that now. The best advice I'd have for beginner guitarists is, like, start at the beginning. I know that sounds stupid, but don't run before you can walk. Don't try and jump. Everyone's seen that meme of the kid with really long legs climbing up the stairs saying, like, beginner guitarists want to start there and go straight to sweep picking, but they haven't learned how to downpick or they haven't learned how to palm mute yet. When I first started doing YouTube, like 3 or 4 years ago now, the first video I did was palm muting and power chords, because I think that's the kind of fundamentals to being able to play a beginner guitar. So like just being able to do that is actually quite difficult when you pick up a guitar for the first time ever, and even because you kind of want to play like, which I remember when I first played guitar, like that was really hard because your hand doesn't know where to go and you don't know if you're pressing too much or too little. And then power chords were ridiculous because it kind of hurt your little fingers and you had to build up calluses and stuff. So starting at the beginning, I first learned like guitar before I learned metal guitar. So I was learning like AC/DC, REM, kind of songs that you would just learn to know how to play a guitar, but not necessarily metal songs. Smoke on the Water is a riff that most people learn as their first guitar riff, but I'm not going to play it because I'll probably get demonetized. Anything by Black Sabbath, early days, Iron Man, Paranoid, Ozzy Osbourne. that one, Crazy Train. But things that you have to practice, so playing slowly is something you have to kind of force yourself to do. Programs like Guitar Pro, Tux Guitar, even Songster and Ultimate Guitar have their own versions now built into the websites, where you can play the songs slower and you can single off one guitar. Whereas I used to do it, I had to like use a tab that was done in Tab Edit or Notes app on Windows, and you had to like play the song on Windows Media Player and then like play along to it and then listen and then try and slow it down, but it was impossible because it would just sound like mush because you didn't have the guitar track, you had the entire song. Then there was people like Dave Mustaine that were like advertising, I think it was an actual product like a CD player, but it had the ability to slow things down so you could learn them better. Whereas now it's super easy. You've got YouTube, you've got Guitar Pro is kind of affordable. People make tabs and release their own videos on how to play. But I still think you've got to start at the beginning. You've got to start with a metronome, you've got to learn to play things slowly, you've got to practice the technique. I really think listening to the song will help because you'll hear how they play it and you'll hear the tonality that they had and kind of the bend and the feeling and stuff. If you just listen to Guitar Pro the whole time, you'll only hear MIDI guitar, so it won't really sound very good. But trying to not run before you can walk is the biggest thing I can advise, because if you start running and trying to play Lamb of God at full speed, it's going to be insanely hard. Or Master of Puppets at full speed, it's going to be really hard. So start at the beginning, start slow. Maybe even play the same like first minute of the song on a loop over and over until you get it right and then move on to the next bit. But I always use the Guitar Pro feature Speed Trainer, where you can put the song at like 70% and then every time it loops around you can go up by 1% and 1% and 1%. So you, without realising, you're getting kind of faster. But with things like solos and shredding techniques, that can apply to rhythm also. So there's like a pyramid technique where you start slow, get up to a high bit, and then you make it work its way back down again. And then that means that when you get back to a slower tempo, you should still have kind of a burning sensation in your arm because you're just keeping the stamina up. Whereas if you only play it in bursts, you're probably not going to get that. So for me, yeah, beginner techniques, start at the beginning, learn how to play guitar first before you go straight into metal guitar, because obviously metal guitar is very niche, and play slow and work your way up. Invest in a metronome, or there's some good websites where you can use a metronome, but Guitar Pro is probably one of the best things that I've ever used when writing songs, learning songs. I do it now, downloading tabs, using the drums, learning the songs that way, importing the drums into programs to make program drums is really useful. So yeah, I'd say invest in a tab program and teach yourself that way. So the question I get asked the most, well actually the second best question. Second question I ask the most is, what is this green thing that I always use on my guitars? You might see them a lot. It's like a little sweatband thing. It's basically a fret wrap made by a company called Groove Gear. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, just smash my guitars. It helps get rid of any unwanted noise. So if you were doing solos and those kind of things, you could put it around the neck of the guitar like this. A lot of people use socks or headbands or anything like that. Put it around it, Velcro it on. So when you're doing your recording or you're playing live and you bring it down, it gets rid of any of this unwanted noise. So some people will hold their hand over and do this kind of stuff. But this is mainly for me for recording because it gets rid of any kind of unwanted shmah noises. But also some of the guitars I have, the strings will ring out because the headstocks are quite long, so when you put this over here, it gives a bit of muffle. Some people use foam. The most questions I get asked are, how long have you been playing guitar for? So I'm now 32 this year, oh no, I'm so old. And I've been playing since I was 15, 16, so I suppose that's like 15 or 16 years. Half of my life. So half of my life, oh my god, I am old. Half of my life I've been playing guitar. I used to play in my bedroom after school, I didn't do any homework, and I played all the time at uni, I played all the time then, I play all the time when I was supposed to be doing other things because I really enjoy it a lot. But how long you've been playing doesn't really denote how good you should be, because I would say I don't feel like I'm as good as I should be after 15 years, but you can't really compare yourself to everyone else. I know guys in Japan that I'm friends with that have been playing for 4 years and are way better than I am and can play lots of different techniques and fingerpick and all that kind of stuff. But what they might not be good at, I might be good at, and vice versa. So I can't really play with my fingers very well. I know people who can, vice versa. They can't really play metal, it's really difficult. So the best thing as well is, doesn't matter how long you've been playing, don't compare yourself to other people, be good at what you're good at, and then hopefully you'll just find your own sound and that kind of stuff. I don't think Dimebag spent his time looking at other people going, oh, I wish I was as good as them. We do that to him, we go, I wish I was as good as him. But he admired everyone else and he appreciated their ability. It doesn't matter if they are better than he is or not. You can always take something from someone else, like when you jam with your friends and people come over and look at your guitars and they play them and they make them sound different to how you do, but they have things that you can pick up on that they can teach you and vice versa. So yeah, the most questions I get asked is how long have you been playing guitar? 15 or 16 years, half my life, and I'm still going to keep playing until my fingers stop working, I suppose. I'll just get robotic ones. So yeah. So thanks for joining me on my first Q&A session ever. That was quite fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget to join the Jamie Slays Discord server. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can come on over. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do this again. Leave me some questions and maybe I'll answer them in number 2. This is a Jackson guitar. They let me borrow it. I might use it in a video sometime because I really enjoy playing it. Don't forget to subscribe because I do new videos every Sunday. I'll see you guys soon. Here are some riffs.